Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode of my survival series. Today's episode is going to be slightly on the longer side, and it's going to take me slightly longer to produce, so I'm going to try to keep things short and simple today. No, I'm not kidding, like there's a lot I have to do for today's episode, so it's best to just do it. That being said, I want to turn my attention to the little hill area up in front of me, because I plan to turn this into a homestead for the villagers who will be working in my trading hall. I'm smiling really loudly right now. Anyway, that means I have to turn this into this. For now, I just evened out the terrain, created a little bit of texture, a little bit of color, and created a few flat surfaces where I can put down some houses. This was 2 days worth of work, so sorry. Yeah, this is what I meant when I said I have a lot of stuff to do for this episode. At least now you know. So I'm thinking of doing a big house over here, smaller ones here, and then a few houses up there as we go up the mountain. Probably some sort of mayoral house at the top. Mayoral? Gee, I wonder why I thought of that. Anyway, the first thing I'll do is the pathing. That'll give you guys an idea as to where I want to place what houses. So, let's get to it. Oh, hey, yeah, so future editing Simon here. It turns out the pathing time-lapse got corrupted. And there's not much I can do about it, so but the rest of the footage is still good, so enjoy that instead. Alright, you guys, and this is what it looks like. Right now, I've just really tried to work with the greenery that was already there. Trying to go for a, hang on, let me give you guys a better view. I've just transformed a little hill area that was there into some peaceful, stable land on which I can build my houses. As you can see from a distance, I don't know if it's noticeable, but I really try bringing out the various shades of green using greenery, quite literally using vegetation to bring out more green inside the green. And then just continue using path blocks and spruce for the roads, you know, as one does. So this is what it looks like from above. I still tried to keep a little gray, just to make sure that I was mixing up a bit of colors. Stairs are accessible in every direction, no problems there. And I added a tiny little pond, with future progress in mind. When you look at the stuff up close, you can really tell that it's a mixture of different kind of blocks, just to get a little bit of a more terrainy vibe. You can also kind of tell that the vegetation doesn't directly belong. But from afar, it mixes in with the rest of the terrain, and that's what I was going for. So I think I did a pretty good job. So without any further ado, let's get to building the houses. Let's go! And the first two houses are in place. Now, before I do the next house, I'm quickly gonna go over about what I did. Some of you might find this interesting. So, when I came up with all the designs for, well, the various houses and giant houses and whatnot, I actually thought of an intention first. So first, I wanted kind of a shepherd's house. Takes care of the pigs in the pig pen back here, and has a little pet dog in this little dog house that I built. Now, funny enough, for a guy who takes care of the animals, the house doesn't have a lot of room. In house number 2 over here, I was gonna say farmers, because I wanted a gardener villager, but then I realized that farmers might be the closest thing possible to gardeners, so I'll just leave it at that. I'm fine with that. Funny enough, the guy who works in the garden all day has a bigger interior than, you know, the guy who looks after all the animals. So that happened. One thing led to another, and I just wanted to keep the house designs pretty much all separate. So you're going to see a lot of these houses, they look similar. They obviously all follow the same color scheme. But in terms of texturing and sizing, they're all going to be different. So without any further ado, let's move on to the biggest house of them all, right here. And that's the big building done. Came out pretty nice. If you're wondering about the particles, yes, I put a spore blossom in there just because I think it makes the area come alive even more. It's kind of a box style house, but it has a, you know, obviously a triangular roof, the rectangular stuff. Kind of the same stuff about building with shapes that I've talked about before. You just gotta do it, and in the end, it kind of looks nice. Now, luckily for me, that was the biggest build, which means I can now work my way up the mountain, build a lot of smaller houses, which is gonna take me a lot less time to build. So, let's get back to it. Now, real quick before I build the rest, I wanted to say, I was supposed to build a well here, but I forgot to do that. But oh well, I guess we'll just have to do it out. Oh hey, it's built! Let's move on. And that's the last house fully built. So that marks the end of today's episode. For the people here who are trying to pay attention to detail, feel free to try to mimic and copy any of the houses, use them as you want, do whatever. You always have my permission to copy whatever it is I built. That being said, I do quickly want to point out, and let me go to FreeCam for this, that every single house I've built has its own unique style. Yes, there are some that are similar, but they are all uniquely built. That way I try to have a bit of diversity. Just so it would, you know, I wouldn't annoy myself with building. We've all been there. So down here's the two little houses, the one that I talked about before. Up here is the big shared house, which for now, yeah, has nothing going for itself. Don't ask me about the other houses. You know what they're like. I don't do interiors. And then the big house up here, I did decide to give to the village head. Now, I had a moment of realization. I want the village head to be someone special. What I mean is a special villager. So I was thinking, well, I was foolishly thinking of a wandering trader. Now, before some of you start going at me like, oh, that could be cool. It's like, yeah, I agree, it's cool. But wandering traders, they rarely spawn. When they do spawn, they despawn fairly quickly. I'm pretty sure it's the next Minecraft day. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what that is. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you can name tag them. And they'll stay as long as you trade with them, right? Oh, you gotta trade. That's what it was. But then I had the realization of not actually putting any villagers in this homestead. Because technically they'll all be working in my house in the back there. The quote-unquote factory. So I thought it better to not actually put the villagers here because, well, think about it. When's the last time you tried to put villagers somewhere passively and they roamed over the other side of the mountain and got themselves killed? Or lost, or whatever. I'm hearing zombies. I did not light this place up. Looks like I got more work to do behind the scenes. Oh yeah, before I forget, I assigned this little house on the hillside right here to a roots and berry expert. Just a random farming villager that has access to beetroots and the, what are they called again? Sweet berries. Right, that's what it is. Sweet berries. Just a little bit of uniqueness to every house, like I said. And then over here, I'm not really sure what to do with it. But I'm sure I'll find a purpose for it one day. So for now, man, I thought I was proud of my work haul back there. If you want to know how I built that, watch a previous episode. But I just want to say I'm really proud of this village. So if through all the videos you've seen from me, or maybe this is your first one, you haven't learned much, or you haven't picked up on any detailing or texturing, like this building back here, as I keep pointing out, then maybe you'll just listen to this one piece of advice I can give right here. Don't stop trying. Keep building. As I'm progressing through these videos one at a time, I am learning more as I go. I keep trying, I keep rebuilding. Yeah, it's taken me a heck of a long time, but look at the things that I have created here today. Well, to be fair for you guys, it's today. For me, it was like almost a week. Almost a week and a half, actually. Damn. I'm really bad at editing. Anyway, that is how I think I'm gonna wrap today's episode up. A little message at the end, a village in the background, and hopefully a better look on tomorrow. So with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.